In this video, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger were asked a very great question: how to invest small sums of money. So let's get to that right now.
What would you cite as the most important reason for your early success with small amounts of capital? And given hindsight today, what might you have done to improve your strategy with these small funds?
Yeah, well, I had a great teacher. I had exceptional focus, and I had the right sort of emotional qualities that would help me in being an investor. I enjoyed the game. I mean, it's just about, hard enough to be interesting, but not so hard as to be beyond the capabilities of people understanding it. And that's kind of the way this game is. I mean, it's not like Henry Singleton kind of questions he took on. It's actually a pretty easy game, and it does require a certain emotional stability. And I went at it, hammer and tong. I went through the manuals and everything, but I was enjoying when I did it. And like I say, I started out between ages 7 and about 19. I had that same enthusiasm, but I didn't really have any guiding principle. And then I ran into The Intelligent Investor and Ben Graham, and then at that point I was able to take all this energy and everything, and enthusiasm for it, and now I had a philosophy that made a lot of sense, total sense, and I found that I could employ, and so the game became even more fun. But it wasn't really more complicated than that. Charlie?
Well, I don't have anything to add. I do think that it's an easy game if somebody has the temperament for it and keeps at it because he likes it and is interested in it. I have a problem that Warren has less of. I don't like being too much an example to people who want to get rich by being shrewd and buying and passively holding securities. I don't think that's enough of a life. If you wrest a fortune from life by being shrewder than other people and buying little pieces of paper, I don't think that's an adequate contribution in exchange for what you're taking. So I like it when you're investing money for an endowment or a pension fund or your relatives or something, but I never considered it enough of a life to merely be shrewd and picking stocks and passively holding them.
Yeah, running Berkshire has been far, far more fun than running, in my case, Buffett Partnership or just an investment fund. I mean,
you'd be less of a man if you'd run that partnership.
It'd be a crazy way to go through life.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, Berkshire is incredibly more satisfying.
So if you're good at just investing your own money, I hope you'll morph into doing something more.
So if you listen very closely to what Warren Buffett says here, he said that at 19 years old, he didn't have any sort of guiding principles in order for him to make the best investments possible. However, he did finally have that guiding light for him to invest a bunch of small sums, and then he eventually, of course, became the billionaire that he is now. So let's get to exactly how to invest with very little money here. So here are some of the ways that you can invest with very small sums of money. Number one, drip feed your cash into investments. You don't need to have a lump sum to start investing. Actually, investing small sums of money regularly can be better than really just trying to, just go big or go home. However, Warren Buffett, though, does say that he likes to just go in with everything that he has and really just try to make the most amount of money possible with his sorts of investments. His philosophy is go big or go home. However, if you have very small sums of money, then this could be the route for you. By investing a small amount of cash each month, you are less likely to be vulnerable to market fluctuations. You are also very likely to end up buying more shares when they are cheaper and fewer. Buy an index tracker is the next way that you can invest very small sums of money. So mitigate your risk, diversify your assets, And really what you want to not do is put all of your eggs in one basket. Invest for the long term. Investing small amounts of money every single month might seem, pretty insignificant, but over 20 or 30 years, you could really build something that's sustainable. And really, you can actually make a lot of money just in dividends from the stocks that you invest in. And the dividends would come in every single quarter, over the course of your life. And that dividend income will get more and more and more as time goes on, while also the stocks you invested today will be worth way more 20, 30 years from now, of course, also. That's something really to keep in mind. So if you intend to keep your money invested for decades, you can afford to take more of a risk than someone who just wants to be a stock trader and buy a stock right now. Let's just say it's Apple, buy a stock now and then you know just sell it later on for maybe a gain of $10 per share. Then that same exact stock that you hold for the 20, 30 years, then you could be making well over potentially $100, $200, $300 per share, or even more than that, depending on which stock, which company you invest in. This is another way to invest with a very little sum of money. Invest in a high yield savings account or like a CD or something. So that's just something to really build your wealth off of, just by having like a CD from Marcus or opening a high, yield savings account of some sort to really build up your wealth. And then you'll have even more money potentially to invest in a stock market as well. So you'll really build up a great pool of cash potentially. And you should be pretty good, at least in the short term, and then for the long term, then you'll be much better off. So what do you think about this advice? Leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe, all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next video.